Hello, all. I'm Stacey Hall, and I'm one of the Digital Mentors coaches. And I'm also a very proud member of the community. I have been here for 5 years, almost six at this point, and I can't imagine being anywhere else because of exactly what I'm going to talk about today, which is how to cure the negativity virus. I'm going to talk today about why negativity will have an impact on your business in a way that we don't want it to have. And I'm going to talk about ways to be able to cure that virus. And there's a few ways to be able to cure the virus. And some of you may have your own ways of curing the virus, and I'd love for you to comment and let me know if you do. Feel free to share that with other people because this is going to take truly all of us, every person on the planet, to eliminate the negativity virus. If we threw as much at it as we did other viruses, the world would be a much better place. And drop me an X if you agree with me. But for today, we're going to stay focused on why it's important to eliminate it out of our own life if we choose to have a successful business. Now, I'm going to be a little woo-woo sometimes, and I'm going to be a little scientific at sometimes today. So just be prepared for both because they go hand in hand. Truth is truth, wherever you find it, right? There are folks who will use negativity as a way of getting engagement. Okay? Now, right, wrongly, or not, let's talk about when we take a negative approach to something. We're choosing to go into a vibration that is lower, literally energetically lower, proven by science. And I'm going to give you a source to check this out. Proven by science to be lower, less joyful, less peaceful, less good feeling than choosing to take the positive road. And there will be folks who will say to me, but yeah, positivity doesn't attract. And I'm here to say, are you kidding me? I built my whole business on positivity. Of course it attracts. I can point to tons of people who have built their business on being positive. Shout out to my friend Kristen Butler, who's got millions of followers because she chose to start putting positivity out in the world. Wish I had thought about it when she did it. So I promised you I was going to give you a source, and I'd like you all to write this down. Tainio, Tainio, Tainio Technology, Tainio, Tainio Technology out of Washington, created a device to measure the energy not only of things, but of thoughts. Our thoughts literally go out into the world. There's an energy that emanates from our body based upon what vibration we're in, based upon what we're thinking. So it'll give you the vibration of coffee, which is not good. We think that it boosts us up, but it actually lowers our vibrational energy. It'll give you the vibration of essential oils. It'll give you the vibration of any type of food. And they've also measured like hundreds, if not thousands, of thoughts and emotions. And they've determined that it is true when we think thoughts of peace, joy, love, the energy we put out into the world is at this level. If we think other thoughts, which I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to put that energy out, if we think lower vibration thoughts, we're putting lower vibration out. Okay? Just be aware. We are here to solve problems. That is true, right? That's what we've always heard. If we want to offer a product and have people buy it, it has to solve a problem. But when we only focus on the problem and not on helping people see the possibility of a solution, we engage in a negative cycle of communication. Drop me an X if you know what I'm talking about. If you've ever experienced this, where, okay, maybe you're venting and then all of a sudden you realize the entire conversation has just gotten more and more negative. Anybody ever had that experience? I'm going to say hi, Terry, Ida, Kathleen, David, Barbara. Yeah, okay, some of you have had that experience. And once it starts going down, it's very, very hard to change its trajectory to go back up. And what starts happening is, especially on our social media, but this used to happen in real life, if you can remember, there'd be people that you would want to stay away from because they were always negative. They'd be at the networking events and you'd ask them, how are things going? And you would get a litany of the things that are wrong. Well, social media is exactly the same way. Each of you knows folks who all they do is talk about the negative stuff in the world. And yes, there's a following of people because there's a lot of folks who get, I don't want to say this, there's an energetic charge that comes with emotion. So people will respond to the negativity. The question is, do you want to be known as the person who's always negative? That's a yes or no choice. I personally don't. I would like to be remembered as somebody who did her best to offer solutions. And I'm going to say my business does quite well because I do. And I know that every Digital Mentors coach here feels the same way. They're always putting solutions and positivity out into the world. That's why we do the wake-up calls. So why am I bringing this up? Because I'd like everybody to think about if you've been following a negative approach because you see other people getting tons of reaction. Evaluate that against your own core values. Evaluate that against what difference do you want to make in the world? And stay focused on the positive. I used to, just revealing because I don't anymore, so I'm not pitching anything here. But I actually got my license as a spiritual healing coach. And I used to see private clients for that. I'm not doing it anymore. And here's why. I'd go in with a client. My goal was to get them to a positive place. Oftentimes I was seeing people who were so far down in the negativity scale that what they really needed was a therapist. So I was referring more people than I was able to help. True story. I stopped because it was making me crazy. That these folks had been in such a negative place for so long. That was the air they breathed, the water they drank. They really needed a therapist who would just sit and listen to them talk about the negativity all day long. I couldn't do it. It was making my skin crawl. So I went back to help people because prior to that, for years and years and years, I was a business strategist. So I went back to being a business strategist because I know most business owners really want to grow something. Like if they know that they're in the way of their success, they'll do something about it. So that's what I do now. Now, why did I just tell you that? Because I'd like you to also think about, who do you really want to help? I often hear my clients at first say to me they want to help the folks who are the most downtrodden. And that's very noble to want to do that. But do those folks have money to pay you? Because a business has to make money to stay in business. If not, then donate money to a nonprofit that's helping those people. That your business has to serve people who can afford to pay for the rich, valuable content, thoughts, ideas, strategies, systems that you have to share. Okay? So that's another way to break the cycle of negativity, is donate to nonprofits that help those who can't afford you, and stay focused on the people who can, and keep lifting them up and lifting them up, because they're ready to be lifted up. Let me know if this is making sense. Anyway, I'm going to be looking at the comments here in a moment. I also want to let you know that if you choose a negative pathway, it has an effect on our own brain. People who constantly put out negative content don't even realize they're harming their brain, their neural pathways. So, in addition to the energetics, the brain is actually changing too, which is why once somebody gets into a pattern like that, it's very hard to change it. If you don't believe me, do studies on the effect of negative thoughts on your brain. It's dumbfounding. Even the word NO, because I'm all about the Go for Yes, right? If you've been following me at all here, I've got the Go for Yes training here at Digital Mentors. Why? Because the day that I found that study that said what the word NO does to the brain, and I thought to myself, are you kidding me? There's a whole program out there going for the NO. It's damaging people. Just the name of the program is damaging people's minds. And some of you may be proponents of that program. Okay, I'm just asking you, are you interested in looking to see what the word NO does to the brain? It's why most salespeople don't make offers, because they don't want to hear that word back. That's why I talk about Go for Yes here, is what if you constructed a strategy that allowed you to get yeses and not NOs, because there is a way to do that. If you're focusing on getting the NO, you'll create a strategy to get it. If you're focusing on the yes, you'll create a strategy to get the yes. And I help you with that here at Digital Mentors. So you might say, one negative thought, what could it hurt? I remember hearing the phrase, no one can afford the luxury of a negative thought. No one can afford the luxury of a negative thought. No one can afford the luxury of a negative thought. So if a negative thought is a luxury, I now have a different definition of what luxury is for me. Then how do we stay out of the negativity pit? Because that's what it is. It's low vibration. It's a pit. All right. Drop an X if you're ready to be lifted up out of the pit. Just drop an X. Let me know if you're ready to go on up where the air is fresh and clean and the energy is joyful and positive. All right, got some X's dropping. Good. I am so glad. Well, my friends, the first is start making a list, like a little hash mark, if you will, like a, keeping score. That's what I meant to say. Keep score of every negative thought you have during the day. I did at the beginning. I was a pretty negative human being. It was my wake up call. I did not realize how often I went to negativity. Now, I'm not saying I'm completely cured. Like, God knows, my friends know that I still sometimes feel the need to vent, and I'm working on it. And my numbers are much lower than they used to be. Okay? And I'm talking about negative thoughts about ourselves, negative thoughts about others, negative thoughts about our homes, negative thoughts about our cars, negative thoughts at all. Keep a little notepad with you, little notepad, and every time there's a negative thought, just put a little number. It's humbling if you will do it, because it is a physical representation of how many negative thoughts, how many times you've lowered your energy, and it will be the first step towards changing towards a more positive thought. The second, you've heard this. I know you've heard this. It's called we must eliminate. Eliminate people who are negative from our lives. If you want to live a diet of positivity, we must eliminate. Now, you might think you have to tell people you're not going to have anything to do with them anymore. Nope, that is not true. You will not have to do that. What there is to do is to start surrounding yourself with more positive people, coming to the wake-up calls every day, going to the Digital Mentors calls, on your social feed, only friend people who have positive thoughts on their profile pages, so that when you go to your news feed, you're seeing people, even if they're having trouble, they're speaking about it in a more enlightened way than a negative way. And you could eliminate friends from your friends list. They would never know that you eliminated them, because believe me, they're too busy being negative. And to be able to clean up your news feed. That's easy to do. It's much easier to do that than it is to say goodbye to people in real life. But the more that we spend time with people who view the world from a more positive perspective, our vibration does change. I deliberately set up taller to demonstrate. It changes. And we start thinking more positive thoughts. And you know what that's going to do to the people around us who are not wanting to be positive? They will ghost us. Now think about that. Because you're up here thinking thoughts, putting out energy here, they're down here. They're not going to get you. They're not going to get you. And what I see way too often, way too often, is people feeling badly after they've gone positive, feeling badly that negative people aren't following them anymore, aren't engaging with them anymore. And I always say, good riddance. Bye. Thanks for removing that negative stuff from my life. Like, why would we feel bad about that? Let them go. More space for more positive people. Yes or yes? Let me know. Yes or yes? There's only two options. So let's see a yes here. If you choose to keep them around, you might say, but they're this, but they're that. I went through a diet away from people who chose to keep being negative. I kind of gave them a warning. I said, I'm doing my best to stay positive. I'm asking you to do the same when you're talking with me. I've had people get very, very, very pissed off with me. Like, you're getting mad at me because I want to stay positive? Something wrong with this picture. Honestly. I had to change the note, and the story's coming back. I'm just going to go ahead and tell it. Okay? So I used to get my nails done by a particular woman. And whenever she would do my nails, I'd be the only one in the room. So if I brought up a positive topic, she would talk about it with me in a positive way. I always thought she was a positive person. She was in a spa, and I had an appointment to get a massage one morning, and my massage therapist was very, 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 very late. And there was no place to sit except in my nail technician's room. She had a spare chair, and she invited me in. Now, I was going to get my nails done with her after the massage. So technically, I was waiting for my nails. Some of you guys are like, what the hell is she talking about? Sorry if there's kids in the room. All right, I'm getting to the point. I was reading a magazine. She was working on another client. Their entire conversation was negative. It was making me feel very anxious. They were talking about another human being. It was making me feel anxious to the point where I was ready to scream. I got up to go out to leave. And she said to me, no, she's not there yet. I can see there's no place else for you to sit. Sit back down. And at that moment, I didn't want to say, I can't stand what you're talking about anymore. So I sat back down. I said, okay, I'm just going to take, I'm going to read my magazine. I'm going to tune it out. And I couldn't. I mean, they were just getting louder and louder and louder. And I apologize to all of you who are hearing this right now. I finally said, they were talking about this person. I said, I apologize. There's no way for me to keep from hearing. And I offered a positive thought, a perspective about what they were talking about. And they both turned on me. Like, you would have thought that I had just said the most negative thing in the world. But they both, like fire in their eyes, that I would have poured water on the heat that they were creating between them of negativity. And I never went back to that nail tech again, nor that massage therapist. So I'd like you to consider, as you go forward in your day, how much negative stuff from other people are you going to allow? And what kind of an effect is it having on you? Because now I'm going to get into the area of making sales, which is what you came here for, right? Personal growth for business growth. Got it. When people are negative, that negativity gets all over us, lowers our energy. We may think that we're putting out positive posts in the world, positive content, but it's going to have, and I'm going to use this word, the stench of the negativity on it. The energy is going to go out there. Energy travels. You can feel my energy right now. Drop an X if you can feel some energy from me. Like, you might describe it as how I'm being, but you can tell whether I'm kind of, downtrodden, or whether I'm enthusiastic, or whether I'm loving what I'm doing. You can feel it. Well, you might say that's because I'm talking. I promise you, if I was doing this in writing, you'd still be able to feel the energy. And I know you know what I'm talking about. So don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you're being positive when you're really feeling negative. Because other people can feel it. The only people we're fooling is ourselves. And I know that from my own life. I know that because I went through a lot of personal growth training and it hit me in the face. Like, yeah, I'm positive. Yeah, I'm up. Yeah, I'm enthusiastic. And my mentor would say to me, well, then you need to tell your face that because it's not showing on you. And if I had attempted to write anything in that space, it would not have been uplifting. This is why we must manage our own positive perspective, find the best feeling thought. And I did not come up with that. If anyone has ever followed Abraham Hicks, Abraham Hicks, Hicks, you know, at the core of all the teachings is this teaching: choose the best feeling thought always. Choose the best feeling thought always. Choose the best feeling thought always. If each of us did that all day long, if we checked in and said, okay, what I'm thinking now, is that the best feeling thought that I could have? Can I shift it? I promise you, the world we live in would be very different. So many times when folks are teaching about creating content, they're not talking about how to get ourselves into the best feeling thought we can have to offer to other people. All right, I'm going to check in and see who's here, give y'all a shout out, and see what you've been saying. All right, so Terry and Eden, Kathleen, David, Barbara, Hope, Levitt, Mark, Steve. Yeah, Steve's listening while running errands. Cool. This Terry reinforces when we get into the negativity, it's a downward spiral. Okay, Barbara, some people love to complain. They don't get that negativity creates more to be negative about. That's what I'm saying. It's a virus. It feeds on itself, completely feeds on itself. Mr. Fun David cannot be negative. Yes. Hey, Tanis. Okay, Terry's saying what I've said makes so much sense. So does Barbara. And Barbara, yes, what we focus on, we get more of. So that's why it keeps going into a circle all the way down. It's positivity goes in a spiral circle up. The more positive things we look for, and I'm going to give you an example here in just a moment that popped in. It'll go up and expand and be more positive versus also going down the drain the other way. So I promise after I say hi to y'all, I'm going to come back and share something with you. Okay. Let's see. Anthony's here. Very great. Personal growth for business growth, Terry says. Yes. Laura Ball Busby, I'm a hairstylist and I'll not participate in gossip. Couldn't agree with you more. Toxic energy. Yes. Like I often wonder, how do hairstylists put up with it, or nail techs? Like how do you not just get that all over yourself all day long? Feeling the good vibes. Yes, you can feel the energy of writing through direct messaging. Tanis was on a Hicks cruise thing. You know what I'm talking about. Just lots and lots of training. But it always comes down to what's the best feeling thought you can have. So here, all right, that thought that I promised you I'd all say. So the spiral positivity. Oh, got it. When I'm working with clients and I see that they're having trouble manifesting money, we talk about where is the thought coming from. And it's always coming from childhood, and it's always coming from the negative things that were said in their childhood about people who had money. Always, 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 I can bank on it. My way of shifting their perspective is to tell them, go find good people who are doing good things with their money. Make a list of good people doing good things with their money. They're out there. They don't get as much publicity as the negativity. And yes, we all know negative news sells. People feed on negative energy. But you know what? It's because there's more of it than positive. If people were given a diet of positive energy, they would feed on that. Let's give them a diet of positivity. People who are positive produce more. People who produce more make more money. People who make more money have more money to pay for things. They really do. Okay? In the other world, the folks who are, I'm just going to say, controlling and putting out the negative energy might be making money. But the folks who are engaging in that, scientific studies have proven it lowers their ability to be productive. It lowers their ability to feel good about what they're doing. It lowers their ability to make money. So don't be fooled. Check out the science. Check it out in your own body. Notice that when you stay more positive, more people gravitate towards you. They really do. You keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Every day, consistent positive thoughts, best feeling thoughts. People will find their way to you because it actually feels better to be around happy, positive people than it does the other. It just requires them to make a shift, and it is a shock to their system. And those who don't want to make that shift, leave them to themselves. Leave them to themselves. Mark, I just explained. It's because it's what's put out there more. It just has been. It's been out there longer and longer and longer. It's what people are used to. But there are actually many, many channels. They're mostly streaming. They could be on YouTube. They're on alternative stations that put out good news. There are pages here on Facebook and groups where people seek out positive news and they share positive news. Large groups of people. We have to be willing to look for them. That's it. Okay? We have to be willing to look for them. So yes, the media will tell us that positive news doesn't sell. It's not true. They just haven't done it consistently enough for it to catch on. But other people have. And they're proving that people would rather have a diet of positivity than the other. And you know who's made a whole lot of money out of this? Hallmark. Hallmark. From its beginning, Hallmark cards made sure their messages were positive. Turned that into TV shows. Turned those TV shows into channels of TV shows. Look up the numbers of people who watch the Hallmark Channel. And truly, if you're used to watching regular TV and drama and drugs and sex and all of that, it could be a little harsh to your system because there's no big spikes up or down. There's no, it's just calm. And people turn to that channel for a dose of positivity, for stress relieving. It's non-medical stress relieving content. So if positivity didn't sell, how has Hallmark become so successful? Just saying. All right. Yes. Well, Lifetime movies, Ashley Mark, often are very dramatic. Hallmark, not so much. Okay. Well, okay. So let's stay focused on the positive. And in doing so, we will cure the negativity virus in our own lives, and we will start to help others cure the negativity virus in their lives. If we don't participate, it can't be created. So I'm Stacey Hall, and I love waking up with you. Because for me, it is waking up. We start at 8 a.m. Pacific time, so you're my first group of folks to hang with, and you get my day started on such a positive note. And I am wishing you, as always, an abundance of sales, satisfaction, and success today, every week, every month, every year, for all the years to come. Please be a non-medical, stress relieving part of someone's day. Take care, everyone.